evening, everybody. Daisy here with you tonight, and there's something like, oh, there we go. It's just the tag being all funny on me. There we go. Spoiler alert, when I'm wearing these, I tend to take them off to play and stop because that's easy to do. Well, tonight is going to be another Game Thoughts night, so this one is definitely one a lot of people played, and it's definitely on my top games list by far. And one of the absolute best in its own specific range. And tonight it will be Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. Now, I do actually own more than one copy of this in different systems. I just didn't get them all out for this because I didn't feel it was relevant. They're all just duplicates of the same game with usually just some minor adaptations. The Final Fantasy, on the other hand, Final Fantasy 1, there were actually stuff added with each iteration that had existed. So, this game came out when the Super Nintendo came out. As far as I remember, it was the pack-in title from the beginning. Later to be added most of the time with Mario All-Stars as well, to give even more incentive to switch over, because all those mothers that were like, oh no, you already have some Mario, you don't need a new Mario. And then what are you going to do with this Mario? You'll have to have two things plugged into the TV. Oh no. I'm like, really? Two things plugged into the TV? Look at a modern TV nowadays. You use every HDMI port, every adapter. Sometimes you get splitters and things, and you're going to be switching between devices because you still ran out of holes to plug in new devices. We do that in the living room. There's several things that are just unplugged at any given time because there are only so many HDMI ports, even on that big honking TV in our living room. Such is life. More ports. But now on to the important part, though. Super Mario World. This game's been around since the beginning of the Super Nintendo, which was a long, long time ago for most of you. Some of you longer than you existed that are probably watching this, because I have some young viewers. I say that in the sense they're younger than me. I remember when Super Mario World came out. I remember the Super Nintendo came out. I remember the Nintendo came out. I was already alive when I wasn't alive when the Atari came out, or the ColecoVision, or any of those things, but I did play those. The Atari, anyway. Anyway, back to the whole point of this. Super Mario World. It does take a lot of the aspects that we've gained from Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, and kicks it up a notch. I really like the fact that you can go back into worlds. You can cycle back through different lands entirely if you so choose to. You can use Star Road at some different points to completely skip sections if you wanted to go right to Bowser's Castle. At any point, find a Star Road, finish Star Road, and boom, you're at the front door, which is the name of the level entrance. There's two entrances, the front door and back door. Anyway, there you are. There's always a shortcut if you can get to Star Road. You just have to do Star Road, and you can beat the game. But there's so many good levels throughout this game, you almost don't want to do that. In fact, it is kind of a lot of fun to not only take any of the shortcut zones, but find all the regular zones as well and do all of it, because you want to be able to get all the exclamation point blocks, so they unlock blocks in the worlds. There's 4 of these, and once you finish that level, all of the dotted line blocks of that particular color throughout the entire game now have a block in them. The first 2 are extra necessary because the yellow one will give you mushrooms, and the green one will give you feathers, which gives you a cape. So very important and very helpful in a lot of places of trying to get through areas that is either sometimes the only way across, sometimes the easier way across, but definitely helpful 100% of the time. Um, Now, the game does reiterate the Koopalings from Mario 3 as your main bosses. They reorganize them a little bit, which is fine. Larry, which was the original first boss, is now the last Koopa Kid you face. For instance, that's one switch up. Wendy being the next to the last one, which she used to be like level 3, and I always thought she was a little bit more vicious, so I thought she deserved to be a little higher in the biting chain. That and all the bosses are different than they were. In Mario 3, all but 2 of them were basically the same concept. They jump around, they use their wand, they shoot smoke rings or whatever at you, and you have to hit them 3 times. The only 2 the difference were Lemmy was on a ball, and Wendy threw rings at you. Now they're all completely different. Well, I mean, there are some that are similar to each other in this game, but none of them are the same way they were in that game. So it gives a little something, makes each boss actually more of a boss than just a rehash of the previous guy you just beat. Maybe a little different. All the areas are really well thought out. From Yoshi's Island to Donut Plains to Vanilla Caves, the Cheese Bridge and Butter Bridge, the Lost Forest, I forget what the forest was called, Choco Island, and whatever they call Bowser's lower layer there. And other little special areas like the Sunken Ship, Star Road, all the special zones, which, whew, if you want a challenge mode, this game has it. You beat all of Star Road, you have the option to go to Special World, which is like 10 levels of extra hard, potentially. But that way, the game has further challenge for you, even just from beating all the levels, the regular levels, and all the hidden levels, finding all the keys, because a lot of levels had a second exit, so that you could go to different places. Generally, a level could only have 2 exits, as far as I remember. But that was plenty to give you a lot of extra worlds out there, let me tell you. There was a power-up zone in Donut Plains that was basically, that was it. It was, you could go in there, it was a place to get a Yoshi, and either 2 fire flowers or 2 feathers, depending on which one you bumped on first. That way you're fully powered up and ready to, take action. In Star Road, you had the option of each of the special levels had one of the other colored Yoshis besides green, the red, blue, and yellow. Blue flew, red turned every shell into fire, and yellow kind of made a stompy earthquake thing when you landed. That's the one I had the least love for. Blue was actually my fave because it meant I could fly anytime I wanted, just need a turkey shell. Fire can be useful though, so constant fire blasts, not a bad thing. And any Yoshi could do whatever effect if he had eaten the correct colored shell. Greens just spit back out if you're normal. Reds always turn to fire. Yellows give you an earthquake. And blues make you fly. And unless you're red Yoshi, all but the red shell does still spit out, like a regular shell does. So there's that. I love the detail of the game. The quality does show the upgrade from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo by far. I mentioned when I was talking about Super Mario All-Stars about how I liked the graphics that they upgraded on that game, but they didn't upgrade the controls on all the levels. This is the level of the controls I was talking about, where everything just feels 100% solid. Everything feels right. Everything feels like you're slippery enough but stable enough. You have enough bounce but not too much. Everything just feels Mario. 3 was almost there. It was just a hair below Super Mario World on the quality on that, which is why it's still one of the most replayable of the Nintendo ones. That and all the fun power-ups make it a lot more entertaining. The short levels. Yes, they were actually short. If you look back, you'll realize how short Super Mario 3 levels really were. There just were a ton of them. Super Mario World, they're not as short. I think there are more of them. And they have halfway points in most of them. So if you're going through, you get the halfway ribbon, you'll respawn at the halfway point if you go die or something. And this Mario game actually had saving. So you beat a castle or a ghost house, you have the option to save the game right there so that you can come back and play again. This is actually really useful if you need to save and quit some point. Head back to a really easy ghost house, buzz through it, hit the ribbon. Bob's your uncle. You have a safe spot. I know I did that a lot just because I was going to have to leave soon. Head to Donut Plains, do that ghost house, call it a day, and run out. But there's a lot to do in this game, a lot of places to be, a lot of fun stuff to go through. The worlds are interesting. The bad guys are all so much fun. Many different paths to go through. Either crossing the lake on Donut Plains, you can skip through some levels, or go around the outside, or do both. Or go to Star Road and skip out right there to head towards Bowser. Go through the Vanilla Cave, head towards its main exit, or head up the secret way and go out the roof. Head out to Butter Bridge instead of Cheats Bridge. Cross the big ravine at the waterfall. Different exits, different boss castle. Past there, you get into the forest, and you actually have to do a secret exit in one of the levels to go forward. You can't just use the easy exit to win. You actually get loops. So it is a cool Lost Woods kind of experience. Same thing with one level in Chocolate Island. You have to do the secret exit to go forward. The regular exit is a single loop. It loops down and around and puts you back exactly where you started. Like, oh, that's so mean. But hey, it made you think. It made you do extra stuff. It made you find the secret exits, and it made you realize there were secret exits. So that was kind of cool in that aspect. I really enjoyed that. You could spend hours on this game, and if you do complete all the levels, including Special World, all the bad guys turn into the turtles turn into turtles with a big cartoony Mario head on, and that's instead of shells, they're just like mascot Marios. It's weird, but it's a thing. Also, the world turns from like springtime to fall time. Also pretty cool. Neat little aspect that you turn the world's time around, so it becomes a different time of the year. And Bowser in this has got his new cool toy, which gets used later on in other games, is a little clown propeller car thing. I could take or leave that, but it was actually a pretty neat additive to the end. It does show some of the things they had been initially working on. This was apparently supposed to have more circus feel to it, and that got taken out at some point, but some aspects of the circusiness stayed, including his cute little clown propeller car. Well, that's kind of cool. But all the bosses were pretty fair. All the levels were more or less self-explanatory, easy to deal with. It was hard, but not too hard. Challenging, but not rough. And all in all, a great ride. I know this was available initially on Super Nintendo. I know there was a repro of the Game Boy Advance, which I own. I know it was on the mini SNES, which I also own. It's probably on like a half a dozen different of their online stores. It's probably one of the games that they have with the Switch online package, because it's a Mario. It's the most ported of all ports. And I'm sure it'll keep getting ported and ported again, because it's a great game. It was definitely the peak of good sprite-based side-scrollers. It did what it needed to do. I feel its sequel, Yoshi's World, was not as good. In fact, I did not like the graphics style at all on that one. I didn't want to play it. Didn't do it for me. But this, 10 out of 10. It was a game to play. There you go. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on Mario World. It's definitely a thing that I spent a lot of time on. Rented a Super Nintendo enough as a kid to play that game quite a few times. I've afforded one more than enough times, so instead of renting it. But young dumb children, we spend our money not thinking. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the little dingby bell. It makes YouTube happy, and then you get to be notified when I post a video. There's also my Patreon listed in the description below. That will give you some control over what I do and talk about. Maybe you want to request a video game I talk about that I played as a kid. Hey, you get a little option there. Or story, or some outfit I get to wear. It's up to you if you go for it. And every penny spent towards the Patreon does help support the channel, and I get better stuff like better lighting and or better stuff to work with. Also, minor upgrade to the room. That shelf. That used to be in the other room. It moved here. It's got my X-Wing bands on it. At least the Imperial stuff and some of my larger ships. Because I needed to move out of the other room because I was getting a 7 cubic foot freezer. It was not paid for by Patreon. That was just something I did. But so that moved to the room. And it's still back where the other recording location is, where the laptop sits. So the laptop lights are probably still on. I think I can see the brightness from even with my eyes in. And new shelf. Anyway, thank you for watching even that little bonus tidbit, and I hope you all have a bunny-rific rest of your day, and keep being fluffy, all my little fluff buns. I love everybody out there, and I hope you keep being cuddly, cute, and pink. Bye-bye now.